Okay, so this for this question looks a little different on your side. You don't have all the setup stuff. But what I'm looking at is, let's see here, 9, 8. I'm looking at this. This is what you're seeing. This is what you're seeing. So they aren't telling me if this is symmetric or not, but they are telling me the standard deviation of the mean. So I'm assuming they want me to use the two standard deviation tests to see if it's unusual or an outlier. So remember, z-score is you take the number we're looking for, subtract the mean, divided by the standard deviation. So basically trying to see how many standard deviations away from the mean is. And people who know a lot more about it than I do decided that more than 2 standard deviations away from the mean is unusual. It's not likely to happen if the mean's true. So what do we have here? So we know the measure we're looking for in this question is, let's see, class can calculate the z-score if somebody received a 75. So the measure we got is a 75, and we know the mean is 77, and the standard deviation is 2.5. So the measure we're looking for is 75. We'll subtract the mean, and we'll divide it by 2.5. So let's see, that's -2. And it's negative because it's less than the mean, so it's below the mean. Then we'll divide that by 2.5, and I'm going to grab a calculator and get a decimal, because they say to use a decimal. So 2 divided by 2.5 is 0.8 I'm getting. So it's -0.8. That's equal to -0.8 exactly. So is that more than 2 standard deviations away from the mean? Remember, you think about the mean being in the middle. So it's made a little symmetric curve. And then we've got this 75. Is that far enough away from the mean to say it's unusual? Well, 2 standard deviations, if the mean is 77, and we're going to take away 2 standard deviations, isn't 2 times 2.5, 5? What's 77 minus 5? Say 72. So the cutoff is at 72. So if we got a z-score, if the measure they're talking about is more, the z-score is -0.8. But we could tell without doing a z-score, if anything's less, if 75 is more than 72, so that's not considered an outlier. If we got a 70, then we could say, yeah, if somebody scored a 70, they did poorly compared to everybody else. So that's one way. I've heard about curving grades. That's when you curve a grade. Well, this is what they're doing, where they're going with it. But that's what we do. You can either do it by calculating the z-score. This is asking for the z-score, by the way. And then we're going to say, is that -2, or is that less than -2? No, it isn't. So it's not unusual. It's entirely possible to get a score of 75 if the average is 77. Not unreasonable. Okay, so go ahead and give that problem a try, and hopefully get it right first try.